The mics are hot, and so's the gossip. Let's get into it in 3.
Welcome to In 3. I'm Danielle Graham.
And I'm Callie.
And I am so happy to see you after what was a really big week last week.
It was such a booked and busy week for your girls.
It was. Yeah. We had Donna Bowling and the deep dive with Taylor versus Blake. And we should say a welcome to all the new listeners. Because
absolutely.
Yeah, we've got a lot more of you joining us, which we're so happy to have.
Welcome to the convo.
Yes.
That was so fun. Honestly, like I knew it was going to be juicy with Donna, and she had all the dirt on the Blake and Baldoni situation, but she came through with even more drama, more details than I could have imagined. and then blew my mind.
It did. And that episode is up if you haven't heard it yet.
Yes.
And like Callie said, there's so much there.
So much to be uncovered.
You know where there wasn't so much?
Yeah.
The AMAs.
Oh, okay. I will never follow Taylor Swift's fans down a breadcrumb rabbit hole ever again, because as you know, and I've been saying that the collective we, because I'm now a Swiftie, we're expecting some big thing to happen at the AMAs. She's been teasing the number 26. Earlier this week was the 26th AMAs.
Yep.
And so I was like, I am sat and waiting. And then I waited and I waited.
Yeah.
And I waited. And there was nada.
Not a hint.
Not a Taylor in sight.
No, you got a lot of J-Lo.
A lot of J-Lo, which I wasn't mad at.
No, but
that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, it wasn't the most stacked lineup at the AMAs.
That is an understatement.
In terms of people, attendees, and also performers. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
It has had huge years in the past.
Huge.
Massive. For some reason, this one was a bit of a sleeper.
Yeah, I think when Heidi and Spencer are like the biggest names and the most like enthusiastic paparazzi welcome on the red carpet, you're in trouble.
I really want to talk about that for a second.
We need to talk about that.
I am so mad at whoever did that to Heidi Montag.
What do they have against Heidi?
Honestly, this woman has been through enough. She lost her home.
Whoever put her in that wig, whoever put her in that Temu Katy Perry outfit from 2005, like someone is doing her dirty.
I don't know what happened there, because it was the terrible wig, like serving spirit of Halloween realness. It was like not even a high quality wig with poor placement, and her makeup was not her
and she
normal
is
look.
So pretty.
I know.
And she's having such a moment, and I just feel like, that was not her finest hour at a time when she should have really stepped into the light.
Right. Because she's had so much support.
Yes.
After the she and Spencer losing their home, her song went
number one.
So she was having this big moment and people were supporting her and she was feeling that love. You know what this kind of, I feel like might have happened in this situation? She got ready right up into the 11th hour and there was no time to do anything.
That is the worst feeling in the world.
I've done it. It's happened to me.
My God.
And it is, I have ripped out my hair moments before a thing, because my hair looked like a villager hair. It was so bad. And I was like, absolutely not. And I threw it in a ponytail because I couldn't bring myself to go to this event with the hair that had been done for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happened to Heidi. She had no time.
That's a good call.
To fix it.
Yeah. And she must have just a lot of yes people being like, we got to go. You look great. We got to go. And it did not do her any favors. I think, though, that she was feeling herself. So I feel like Heidi loved Heidi. And I think that's really all that matters.
Oh, I'm glad for that then.
Yeah. Like I felt when I was watching her on the carpet that she was into it.
How do you think she feels today seeing the photos?
Not great, probably.
Right.
And I know that she's a Sensey Sally, just like me. Like she's probably like, oh my God, everyone hated me. I looked horrible. Justice for Heidi.
Love her. Hate whoever did it.
Yeah, no, not her best moment.
Now, who did look fire? J-Lo did look fire.
I mean, the girl knows how to host a show.
She does.
She knows how to dance. And you know, my Roman Empire is anyone dancing to Not Like Us.
Yes.
So like that medley and then finishing with Not Like Us, I was like, yes. And then she's making out with everyone. I'm like, yes, J-Lo, yes.
Yeah. The medley was amazing.
It really
and the dancing was incredible. And her in that onesie was like, J-Lo is incredible. But honestly, I could have done without the making out. It's been done before.
It's silly. And it didn't even look hot. Like it looked.
She looked uncomfortable doing it. Like that's just not her brand.
Yes, I know. That felt a little thirsty.
And a little contrived.
Yes.
Didn't love that part.
A little thirsty. Like trying to call back the Britney Madonna Christina moment, which like don't
do that.
Don't leave that in icon history.
Yeah.
You don't like do your own thing.
Stay in your lane.
And she did the most. Like she did the most dancing. She did the most singing. She did the most costume changes. You don't also need the makeouts.
You don't.
I don't know. Half of these people I don't even know anymore. Like some of these girls on the carpet, like sadly, I'm calling out my inner millennial. I'm just calling out how old I am. But I don't know these girls.
I'm so glad you said that.
I don't know all these girls. I know Gwen Stefani.
We know Holla Back Girl.
Janet Jackson. So
yes.
I know Janet. I know J-Lo. I know Gwen. The over 50 women holding it down.
We love you.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
I felt the same way where I was like,
Who is
boy,
this?
it has happened to me. I always swore it would never happen to me because we stay pop culture relevant. And
But
I remember
even still.
Yeah, but it does. I remember thinking about my parents. I was like, why do you guys still love Rod Stewart? Like, why have you not evolved?
Right.
Oops, it's happened a little bit. I still think we're very much on the pulse, but there is some new faces that I'm just not that familiar with.
Identify yourself. Who are you?
Who are you?
What
I
is
need
happening?
one of those signs.
Yeah, we need a little sign. Please explain yourself.
Yeah.
No, but it was it was underwhelming.
Yeah, it was.
It was underwhelming. But you know what's not underwhelming? Skims has a new item of clothing.
What is it?
I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not. I don't follow Skims.
Okay.
So
Somehow
I don't know.
I get served all of these ads. I don't know what they think of me. But, first it was the nipple bra.
Right.
Then it was the butt pad underpinning.
Yep.
Right. It was the fairy butt mother moment. And now they have the nipple bra 2.0, which has a barbell through it to mimic
a nipple piercing?
Piercing.
Stop this.
And they think that people are going to purchase a bra where the nipple piercing is showing through your shirt.
No one's going to buy this, and this thing will be on deep, deep sale and deep, deep discount in 6 months from now. They'll be trying to liquidate this item.
Okay, but I went into the comments
and
I was like, because that's my first instinct is like, who's doing this?
I love that. I do the same thing.
Yeah, you have to.
Comment section
what are
is
the
the
people
best thing.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Clarify. And people were like feeling it.
Okay, either they're feeling it or they just love the brand and jump on everything that the brand does. Is that what this is?
It's just like, can we expect to see more nipple piercing outlines in t-shirts moving forward? Like, I would rather not.
I would rather not either. It just seems really weird. I would almost be like, you've got something on your shirt.
What's happening here? Or you have a growth. Like, what's happening?
No. And I didn't know nipple piercings were of the moment either. Also, why pretend? If you're a person who's going to pretend to have a nipple piercing, then just have the nipple piercing.
Yeah.
Just commit
to
the nip.
One. Yeah.
It's weird.
Weird.
It's very weird.
Very weird.
We do have some weird things to talk about on today's show, actually.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so let's line it up. The first story is everything happening with the Beckham family. So some more has come out, or people are telling more, actually. So that would be Brooklyn, Beckham, his wife Nicola, Romeo's also in the mix, and this involves Harry and Meghan as well. So there's a lot of... It's like a British melange.
It really is.
It is.
Yes.
And then our next story... We're going to talk about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner.
I'm so excited to talk about that.
I know, and it's good.
It is good news.
It's good.
Good news.
Everything is good.
Happy vibes.
I think. Yes, happy vibes. Kelly Clarkson. This story, it's been going on for months, simmering, and now it's getting to almost like a boil.
Yeah, we've been sort of like, should we talk about this? Should we not? And we've sort of been avoiding it, and now it's like, we got to talk about this because it's everywhere and we need to debrief.
We do. We've got lots to talk about Kelly. And then we're going to wrap things up with, we have to talk about
Jessica Biel.
Yes, we do.
And by osmosis, her loser husband,
Justin Timberlake. What about the tour? What tour? The world tour.
Babe, no one cares about your tour.
Not a single person.
No one cares.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get into it. The Beckhams with, in brackets, Harry and Meghan. So they're in this mess too. So the backstory is Brooklyn Beckham is married to Nicola. Brooklyn Beckham allegedly dated Kim Turnbull in the past.
Yep.
His brother
Romeo
is now dating Kim.
Yes.
And it's caused some family rifts. Brooklyn and Nicola have sat out family events. They didn't go to David's birthday. And it does appear as though there is a rift.
Right.
And now Brooklyn has decided to take to Instagram.
Yeah, as they do in that family.
Honestly, though. And Brooklyn posted a video of he and his wife, Nicola, on a motorcycle.
So cringe.
It was so cringe. It was so cringe. And they're zooming into the sunset.
Zooming into the sunset.
And he captioned it, "My whole world, X. I will love you forever, X. I always choose you, baby X. You're the most amazing person I know. XX, me and you forever, baby." Heart.
I love the dramatic reenactment.
Right? But it's
perfection.
so what he's saying is, screw them.
He's saying, I will always choose you. He's making a pretty bold statement, I would say, in this post, especially knowing that the world has their eyes on your family.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to dispel speculation that things are going on with your family. You are literally confirming it.
You are.
And you're telling everyone where you stand. And this is not a good look for them, because right now insiders are calling him a hostage.
I read that she was controlling. This is a hostage situation.
Quote, in multiple sources.
Oh my God.
People are calling him, like his family is calling this a hostage situation.
Nicola Peltz
Yes.
has Brooklyn in a hostage situation.
An emotional hostage situation.
Oh my God.
So basically they're saying she's super controlling. And they're extremely concerned that Brooklyn is being manipulated by her.
Uh-oh.
And this, as you said, this started as what seemed to be a rift between brothers, where Brooklyn was unhappy that Romeo was dating this girl who he thinks has bad intentions based on his history with her. Now, especially with this post, it's making it look like, I don't know if things have always been more complicated and we just thought it was about that situation.
Right.
Or if that situation and the way that Brooklyn and Nicola sort of ostracized and alienated themselves from the family is causing a bigger rift. Because this is past, we're past Kim. First of all, Kim taking strays.
Right.
Not Kim taking strays. Like, that's not nice to make her the scapegoat. If it's just a Nicola and Brooklyn problem with the family, don't blame it on Kim. That's not nice.
I think there's many incidents, though, to your point.
Yeah.
This goes back to the wedding and Victoria and Nicola over their wedding. And I'm sure this is many years and incidents where there has been tension and disagreements.
Yeah.
And now these two have clearly put up a boundary where it's them against the world.
Yeah.
But then what happens hours later,
Yes.
Cruz, the other brother,
Yeah.
takes to Instagram with a photo of the whole family that does include Brooklyn. So all the siblings, everybody's in this picture about his family. "I love you guys more than anything. Mom and Dad, you gave us life and cared for us no matter what. I cannot tell you how blessed we all are to have you in our lives." So is he trying to play peacemaker here, or is he taking a stance on a certain side? What's happening with Cruz Beckham? I don't know. But what
Great question.
But what we know did happen, Brooklyn and Nicola were seen with Harry and Meghan.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Allegedly. Well, it's not alleged. We know that Brooklyn and Nicola were invited to dinner at Harry and Meghan's house. And what they're calling it in the press is that this was a victim summit.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, so Meghan and Harry will never be king and queen of England, but they have made themselves king and queen of, like, ostracized, alienated family members of rich, wealthy, famous families.
Yes, that's
like,
what-
you are
yeah.
now the poster children.
Yeah, you're the poster children of, I choose my wife over my family.
Right.
And that's exactly what Brooklyn's done, it looks like.
You know who I wouldn't be taking advice from if I'm Brooklyn Beckham?
Those two!
Like, honestly.
Like, don't listen to them.
And it's just it's actually just such a joke. Like, they are just,
I know.
I don't know.
But they're young and impressionable too, right? And that's what scares me.
They
It scares
are.
me that they could be taking bad advice from Harry and Meghan. And I do think they're deep down, Harry has some regrets about the decisions and the way he's gone about them.
Well, I would hope then that his advice to Brooklyn would be, don't let this divide get too big.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it can snowball really quickly. And I think, I don't know if you read this, but I didn't realize that David Beckham and his own father had an estranged relationship for many years.
I saw that in the documentary.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was his father having a health crisis that brought them back together, because you do realize that life is really short, and you never know when those people could be gone from one day to the next. And I think this is a family that is so deeply rooted in family values and really, you know, prioritizing each other and being so close. It's really, really sad.
Harry's having that moment too that you just mentioned about life being short and a parent getting ill.
You're right.
He said the same thing about his own dad.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time he has left. And that is one thing I've always loved about the Beckhams. They've really always presented as a really tight-knit family together all the time, celebrating big milestones together. They just seem as these massive, huge, you know, global celebrities. They seem as pretty normy as a family.
Yeah, I agree.
And I imagine this is just devastating to David and Victoria as the parents in this situation. It would be so heartbreaking to see this.
I have also heard rumblings that the parents are desperate to make amends.
That tracks.
But I feel like in that case, like, can we take this off social media, guys? Like, we're talking about posh spice.
Yeah.
Okay. This is beneath posh. This is now like, it's just the petty, it's like petty spice. We're no longer posh spice. We are in petty spice territory. Seriously. Like, we need to take this off social media. Instead of going over to Harry and Meghan's house, maybe you pop by your parents' place when you're in town, because allegedly Nicola and Brooklyn were in town and didn't call them.
That's right.
Which is just, it's so hurtful. It's so sad. Call your parents. Have a coming together moment.
Yep.
Where you hash it out. And I know you love your wife, but it's very important to keep the peace in your family. And also, I would say, if you're with someone who is good with you severing ties with your once very, very close family, that's a fucking red flag.
That part. Wow.
Right?
That is illuminating. No, your partner should be encouraging you to reconcile. Your partner should say
all the ways.
All the ways.
All
Yikes.
the ways. And it's like, what in God's name is going on here?
That goes back to possibly Brooklyn being this prisoner. More control, more isolation, and people who want control over people, the first move is to isolate them.
Right.
To gain more control.
Yes.
Speaking of control, did you see and read about Meghan's attempt at a Vogue cover? And the mess that has come out about this? Because we're on the Harry and Meghan. And
God, tell me.
Okay, so in 2022, Meghan is good friends with the editor of Vogue UK at the time. His name is Richard Ennefel. Did you ever see that In Vogue, the 90s documentary on Netflix? He was featured heavily in that.
Okay.
So great.
Okay.
So she's great friends with him. She wants a Vogue cover, a September 2022 issue.
Okay.
She can have the inside of the magazine and lots of digital articles
Assets,
and things like that. Yeah, that's what he can give, because they've already promised the cover to Linda Evangelista. She's not happy about that. She wants that cover. Not only does she want the UK cover, she wants the US cover. She wants a global cover of Vogue, she said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
She's declined. She gets on a Zoom with Anna Wintour to get Anna to reconsider her position and give her...
Is that like CCing the boss?
I guess. And give her this global cover that she so wants. And Anna Wintour declines.
I love her for that.
Could you imagine trying to pitch yourself to Anna Wintour to be like, this is why you should give this to me? And Anna being like, no, thank you. And just like slowly closing her laptop.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. Not only did she want the cover and of both versions, she wanted control over the photographer, writer, final edit, photos, cover lines, and again, wants it to be this global issue. And the quote from the source says, nobody gets that, not even Beyonce.
Well,
and so the Vogue cover never materialized. And now this very close friendship she once had with Richard, who was the editor, he's since quit, no longer exists.
Wow.
So it was another example of this really inflated sense of self, and also these ridiculous demands. And this is not the first time we've heard these stories.
Right. That woman knows no bounds.
No.
Like, she really doesn't. And you know what Anna Wintour does not like? Someone telling her what to do.
Yeah. In her arena.
Check yourself.
Check yourself. The only person I think who'd ever been given the global cover was Adele. Okay?
Right.
But that's Adele.
It's Adele.
It's Adele. So I don't think that Meghan is offering the world what Adele has offered the world.
I would agree.
Necessarily. So that tracks. And I doubt now a Vogue cover will ever be in her future.
Probably
based on
not, it sounds like.
this story. Yeah.
Yeah, she does not have a great reputation. And yeah, the receipts are there.
They are.
Yikes.
All right. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner.
A happier family story.
Yes.
A happier ending, at least.
But it wasn't.
No.
Do you remember when they got divorced?
Oh my God.
How
that was
bad it was?
dramatic and messy.
Oh, it was really
Because
bad.
they were, so Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, British actress from Game of Thrones, they were like, to me, one of those couples that's like, they can never break up or else love is dead. Like,
Yes.
you know how the world gets like that about
Yes.
certain couples? And it was like, they were so cute together and such an amazing, perfect couple. And they were always so like irreverent on social media together. And they were making funny, like, they were always making these funny videos, and they have a great sense of humor, and they're just so perfect. And they had, perfect kids together and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, big split.
Over.
And it was so contentious. And there was like, she was alleging that he had basically the kids held hostage in the US and wouldn't let them come to the UK. And then he, I think, or his camp might have planted rumors that she was basically like out partying and an unfit mom.
Yeah, that was the smear campaign that happened to Sophie Turner. He actually hired Tiger Woods' divorce attorney.
Okay.
That was the lawyer behind that. And there was a whole PR campaign behind it to paint her as a party animal, an unfit mother.
Right.
And she's in London partying, and he needs to keep the kids in the US to keep them safe from that.
Right.
Devastating. And she did actually share after the fact how those were the worst days of her life when she was seeing this spun, and the way that people were believing these accounts to be true, that she was just out drinking and partying and
terrible,
didn't want to look after her children. Awful. So that's where they were, and it was capital BAD bad.
And I think looking back and now understanding a little bit more about it, a lot of this was about he wanted to live in the US and she wanted to live in the UK. And so they were fighting over where their children would live. And that's the kind of campaign that they had against each other. Like, it's always shocking to me how nasty things can get in divorce with someone you once loved enough that you wanted to bring humans into the world together.
Right.
And then you can fall out to that point where you're trying to ruin each other's lives, essentially. Ruin their reputation to the eyes of the world and the eyes of your children potentially in the future.
That's right.
Right? Like, those kids are going to see all of that.
Yeah.
Period.
Have you ever heard the line, "You don't know someone till you break up with them"? Oof. Like, that is the case here.
100%.
100%. And that divide is a big thing. She wanted to be back home. She's very tied to her homeland, understandably. But again, and then the other issue was he was a touring pop star. So she was kind of a tour mom, bringing their kids on the road, no stability, really no home, kind of nomadic. And that wasn't really serving what she wanted to create for her family. But again, these are considerations you make maybe before you embark. If you're a very London-based person and he's a very California-based person.
That's a conversation we should have before we plan a life together.
He's not going to give up being a Jonas brother and touring, and also being a solo artist. So again, it's like none of this is a surprise. All these pieces were there. I guess they didn't realize the impact of those pieces until these kids came into the world, and then it all became very, very real.
Yeah.
So things broke up in a spectacularly awful way.
Yes.
But now, they look good.
Sounds like they've moved forward in a positive way and made amends. So he has a new album out, solo album. This whole album is about love and dating after divorce. Great. And Sophie posted on her stories on Instagram a link to his new album with a caption that was like, "Go, go, Joe Jonas," tagging him, which is such a beautiful declaration of support and solidarity, and to promote a project after all of that they've been through, and especially a project that is intimately about his new chapter after her.
Yeah, no kidding.
Which I feel like is kind of, that would be tough to swallow, to see that your ex is like writing a whole album about, you know, the game of love post divorce. And so she's out there supporting him, which I'm just so happy to see them. They're not petty spice. They're
evolved spice,
rising above. Yeah, they're exactly evolved, spicing it up. And I love to see that.
Yeah, I do too. And it is a nice, what it tells me is they've prioritized their family and the children and everything they're doing and all the moves they make is to support those kids, which is like, should be the first step in any co-parenting situation. Yeah. It also tells me that they're in therapy and it's working.
Yes.
This sounds like great therapy.
They're working on themselves.
Yeah.
And they're working on their dynamic as co-parents, which I have so much respect for.
He also gave an interview and called her an incredible mother, which
honestly, is what he should have been saying from the beginning.
I think that line and calling her an incredible mother was designed to, in some way, erase whatever hand he had in it was a smear campaign against her when their marriage ended. Right. So you can't erase it because it's all out there.
Yeah.
But that was a good. You
can move forward and do better and know better, which it really does seem like they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm totally here for it. I'm also here for her buff bod. Have you seen her new pictures? She's going to be the new Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider series.
I have not seen the physique.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think she's so gorgeous.
She's gorgeous, but this is like another level of athlete strength.
Oh yeah.
Like absolutely cut.
Just shredded?
Just absolutely shredded. Like this girl is eating her protein. Protein and creatine for the win. No, she looks amazing. Love to see her getting badass projects. This could be a huge role for her.
Yeah, and a franchise too, right? So many projects, meaning many paychecks.
Yes.
How do you feel about the Jonas Brothers music? Are you a fan?
Good question.
Like there is I can't imagine, unless there's like some bop that comes out on the radio and I get obsessed with it, I'm not looking to Joe Jonas as an artist I want to consume.
Absolutely not.
Nick? Yes. I love Nick Jonas.
I mean, he's very lovable.
He's the hottest Jonas.
Definitely the hottest Jonas.
Thank God we agree on that.
Oh my God.
It's not Kevin.
No. Poor Kevin. I heard that he's in therapy right now because...
For being the worst Jonas?
Well, it doesn't say for being the worst Jonas, but it says like...
Sorry.
No.
He's not. I'm sure he's lovely.
No, I'm sure he's lovely. I think they're lovely boys.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that.
What's he in therapy for?
He's in therapy apparently to process the highs and lows of his career. But to me, knowing that he's like the unchosen bro, I feel like he's processing... Exactly. Like everybody knows he's third on the charts, and now Frankie, the bonus Jonas, even has a profile because he hosts that random reality show.
Frankie's out there? Good for Frankie,
a show about being related to a celebrity. Which is really cringe.
That's very cringe. But I'm happy he's getting a low profile.
Get that paycheck. Get that Jonas paycheck. Do
we know why he was never in the band?
I just think he's not a musician.
Oh.
Like that. I also think that would be like I guess just give them a tambourine or like a triangle.
Any of those.
Yeah. Or like a recorder.
Yeah.
No, but and also I think he was significantly younger than them.
Talk about being left behind.
I know.
Yeah, nobody would like that.
That would be tough. Like being a younger sibling is hard enough when you have like high achieving older siblings.
I wouldn't know anything about
present.
That.
Support group.
I'm kidding.
Support group.
I'm totally kidding.
Especially when they're brothers.
I'm totally
Support
kidding.
Group.
We digress there, but I think that was really important to unpack.
No, yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went there.
I
am
too.
And to answer your question, I will tap my foot to a Jonas Bro bop.
Okay.
But it's not on my playlist.
Okay. Kelly Clarkson. This story, Cal, is so a bit of a mess, actually.
I was going to say, like, it is very messy.
It is.
For prime time, daytime TV.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Which is usually like polished and
kind of
clean,
just it's just like
lame,
predictable,
boring.
and here it goes, and this is your show, and we're not talking about it. And in full transparency, I've never seen Kelly Clarkson's daytime show, but now I'm paying attention because of these headlines.
Right, just before she bails, allegedly.
Well, that's what people are saying. So she went on that 2-week break in March.
Yeah, the unexplained sort of almost disappearance. Like, it was like Kelly Clarkson, it wasn't like she had a planned, hiatuses are usually like planned a year in advance.
Right.
Like, and we will go dark on this day, or then we will get replacement hosts for this time. This was like, she was just gone for an undisclosed period of time, to the point where they had to call on guests to be the host the day of.
Andy Cohen.
They were
was
like,
in there.
hey, so
we need you.
Thanks for coming. Yeah. Now we're going to need you to host the whole show.
And then when she returned, we didn't really know what happened.
Yeah.
It was a personal matter that she wasn't directly involved in.
Right.
So I don't know what I'm actually trying to imagine what that could be, and I don't know what that is. But when she came back, she addressed the audience, thanked them for their love and support and how they rallied around each other, and did say a lot of the time lately she has felt lost and alone. Okay?
Yes.
So she lives in New York with her 2 children. She went through a terrible divorce.
Yes.
She did say that the divorce was very hard on her, and she did not handle it well at all.
Right.
So that, coupled with parenting children, and also, there's a grueling schedule to host a daytime show as a solo person. There's one thing, like, I've been part of an ensemble of a team where if I was sick or something happened, there were other bodies to cover.
Yeah. There's less pressure.
Less pressure. This is like, people get tickets, people travel, people come into the city and get hotels to come see your show.
Yeah.
And they shoot 2 a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So one of those is one day, but it's back-to-back shows. It's a grueling schedule. And
that's for a normal talk show. Now add in the layer of her musical numbers.
Yes.
So I worked on a daytime talk show in Canada for a number of years. It is a grind.
It is.
Even with many hosts. Now add in the layer, so you have to rehearse the show, but now add in the layer of rehearsing and arranging the musical numbers. She does like multiple musical numbers per show. Yeah, like every day she does covers of iconic songs.
Oh my God.
She does her own version of them, and they always go viral. And that's a huge part of why people love the show. And it's a huge part of why people love Kelly. Kelly is so likable. She really is. She's so sort of like doesn't take herself too seriously. She's irreverent and fun and likable, and she's one of the most talented singers of our generation.
Absolutely.
So I think, yes, it is a grind normally, and then adding in this musical layer would be such an immense amount of pressure.
And then she did The Voice too at some point in this.
Right.
So like
she's taken on a lot.
She's taken on a lot, and burnout, as we know, is a real thing. So the reports are that she's done and wants to leave the show, but the network does not want her to go because the show's
contractually obligated till next year,
to the end of 2026, right?
I think so, yeah.
They don't want her to go. The show's successful,
right?
It's syndicated. It does well in all of the markets.
Yep.
And she is a national treasure. She
beloved. She really is.
She really is.
Yeah.
But now Hoda Kotb's name has been popping up as a possible replacement. And apparently Hoda made an appearance on Kelly's show, or recorded an episode of Kelly's show that hasn't aired yet. But they had a sit down. Hoda just left the Today Show like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to step away. She also has young children. And honestly, I get that, because when they're young and when they get a little bit bigger into like the middle kid age, you really do start to recognize how quickly it's all going.
Right.
And it's fleeting, and it's vanishing before your eyes.
Right.
And I can see why that would be a choice.
And one of her kids is unwell.
Yes, that part too.
Which is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go and be with her daughter who has a medical condition.
Yeah. And she's gone on and launched this wellness brand as well. So Hoda seemed to have this kind of exit strategy plan when she left Today. Mm-hmm. But now her name's being kicked around.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. But then there were reports or rumblings that Hoda didn't leave Today. They tried to cut her contract.
Oh.
That it was like we need to reduce your salary.
Oh.
And it was a choice made based on, well, I'm not going to do this job for less money.
Interesting.
So now they can't have Kelly. Do they want Hoda?
The Hoda thing, I mean, regardless of the circumstances, to float her name as like the one name that people feel would be a great replacement for Kelly, I'm sorry, but I don't see it. Like, no disrespect to Hoda. She's wonderful. I don't see her being a match. Like, if you're trying to match energy, you're trying to match vibe, you're trying to match kind of like age group and that sort of like attracting the same audience, I don't see Hoda being that person. And I think, again, like when we put that layer of musicality into it and that being a reason why people love the Kelly Clarkson show, I don't think you can go with someone who's not an artist.
Right.
I have a suggestion.
I was going to say that musical piece is the differentiating factor.
Yeah.
From the sea of daytime shows. Who is your option?
Do you have one?
I don't. Okay. Clay Aiken.
Oh my. Just give another Idol member.
I don't know. Ruben stuttered. I'm going back into the archives.
I love it.
Who?
Okay. Well, I know this would never happen, but in a perfect world, I think the only person that can match the energy.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
The only person that can match the energy and match the musicality and then is someone we've already talked about today, Adele.
Adele would like murder it. She's so funny.
Who doesn't want to see Adele hosting a daytime talk show? Now Kelly should watch her back.
Yeah. Adele would do it for like a week and then she needs to go away because that's how Adele works.
Yeah, she doesn't want a full-time gig like this.
No.
She doesn't want that responsibility. But like I would pay a lot of money to see Adele in that. Or I would at least want the executives to pay a lot of money to see Adele in that position.
Oh, she's so funny.
She's so funny. And so is Kelly. I think they have a similar vibe, although Adele's just like more and more and more and more
and more and more and more. That is, you're right though. That is a very, very tough position to fill.
It really is.
And unless they're throwing the entire wallet at Hoda, why would Hoda go back to a grind where it's not even, like Hoda with Jenna and there was another person to cover you? This is not the case here. You are the person, and this show records all summer, and it is a heavy lift and it is a grind. It does though give her the opportunity to promote this wellness brand that she's created that has retreats and podcasts and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So it could become like her whole thing is joy, and it could become a spot of joy in your day. But that's not unlike a lot of the other daytime shows, I guess.
Hot take though. Do we have to shoehorn someone into this, to quote you?
I love shoehorn.
Do we have to shoehorn someone into this, or can we just let it not be a show anymore? There are so many daytime talk shows now.
Yes.
Jennifer Hudson has one. Sherry
Shepherd?
Sherry Shepherd has one. Thank you. I was like seeing her face, but couldn't remember her name.
You're right.
There's actually just a lot of daytime talk shows.
Well, the other issue I have when you say shoehorn is that it feels as though no one's getting creative. We're just going back to the same well. Like why Ryan Seacrest always has 7,000 jobs.
Right.
Like there isn't another male television personality that could do this job. Why
or
is it
female.
always him? In his case, yes.
Yes.
But do you know what I mean?
But like,
so why are we not like, let's expand the search.
Right.
There's a bajillion people out there.
Very talented, very likable, very capable. Yes, I agree. And I think that I should add, I polled our audience on Instagram about the Hoda replacement.
How did people feel?
They were not down. They agree with us. It was about 70%.
Oh, wow. No, thank you.
People don't think it's a good fit. So the people have spoken.
They have.
And I agree. So Kelly has an album coming out. It does seem like she wants to focus on her music. And that's kind of the vibe she's putting out there. She has a new album coming out in June, her first one in a very long time.
Yeah.
And she's been doing some concerts here and there and making kind of some under the breath remarks about not wanting to do the show anymore. She'll say things like, we haven't done a singing show in a while, y'all, because I have a talk show and we have to do that. She is kind of telling on herself.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think if you don't want to do it anymore, babe, you should have that choice.
Absolutely.
Like,
she should have that choice.
She did move the entire production from LA to New York after her divorce because she said she was unhappy in LA and wanted to be in New York. And I think that that's fine. I think a lot of producers and people made sacrifices to make that happen, to make her happy. And now it sounds like she's not happy in New York either.
Right.
And I think the place is not the problem. It's the job. Like, you just are not happy doing this.
Right. Or you've had enough and you've burnt out and, you've done all you could do with this. And right now you're just kind of on a hamster wheel.
And honestly, 6 years going on 7 is a great run.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great run. And she really entertained the people at a dark time for our society, right? Like, all through COVID, she was a bright light. She's given a lot at a time when she didn't even have reserves. And I think it would be okay to walk away. And I think it's okay, again, to not force someone into that role because they're trying to salvage. It wouldn't be the Kelly Clarkson show anyways anymore. It'd be the Hoda show or whatever. Right. So like, let's just reset, Control Alt Delete. Let's reset the whole program. Honestly, reset the whole program
and go from there.
Start fresh.
All right. Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
We have to talk about
Jessica Biel because she's all over my algorithm right now.
Yeah.
In a surprising turn of events. I didn't know she was coming back up, but here she is. She's got a bunch of projects that are about to be released. One is called Better Sister with Elizabeth Banks. Love to see her winning. I think this woman has sacrificed a lot in her marriage. She is married to a man who sucks all of the air out of every room that he's in, I think. Have you ever interviewed him?
I have.
Did he suck the air out of that room?
Gosh, this is going back a long time. He had a movie.
Yes.
It was at the Toronto Film Festival.
Right.
What was the name of that movie? It'll come to me. Maybe,
it's not
maybe
The
it won't.
Accountant, but it's like something like
and
that.
he was quite fine, but he was wearing a different hat because he was trying to break into the world of acting. So he definitely approached that interview differently. Whereas I think if he's playing the role of Justin Timberlake, singer, dancer, performer, different guy.
Right.
Very different guy.
Yes.
This is like trying to be taken seriously.
Right.
But Jessica, have I interviewed Jessica? I don't know that I have actually. But I've always really liked her.
Me too.
Yeah, she seems like someone who's keeping it real and holding it down.
Very normie.
Very normie.
I think very, very down to earth, it would seem. And I really feel for her in her marriage. I think she's done a lot to make it work. We know there was a lot of cheating allegations. He also had that crazy DUI earlier this year. He had, he was the most hated man in the world for so many reasons. What he did to Britney, what he did to Janet. Shall I continue?
No.
There's a long list.
There is.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's made a lot of excuses for him. And I think that's got to be a tough position to be in. Is
it a case again where we talked about Haley and Justin last week, how she was kind of the accessory and he was the big shiny star. She's really having a moment too with all these projects. Yeah. Very steady career, continuing to grow as an actress and to get these opportunities.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just flailing like Katy Perry a little bit.
You are so right. He's having a Katy Perry moment, which in my opinion is a karma.
Yeah.
He's having a karma moment where it's like, right.
Yeah.
We were waiting for this. And not that I want to plot on people's downfall, but I honestly just think he's been unkind to people, and that does catch up with you. And I think that's what we're seeing here. We also have never spoken about on the podcast, although we've talked about it at length.
Where are you going?
His world tour.
Oh my God.
The harness gate.
Oh my God. The pants. And the harness.
With the harness.
And that like sheeny, it was like a sheen on a gray pant.
And then what did we see?
Not a lot.
Right.
Not a lot. Oh my God.
A very itty bitty situation was revealed in that moment. That was earlier this year.
I totally forgot about that.
That is also a karma moment. Now the world knows you have a small dick, and that is a fate worse than death to most men. Okay. And now we know why you behave the way you have, because you do not have that BDE.
I just am picturing him like pulling down his shirt.
Yes.
Like Marigold does when her shirt rides up and she's like tugging on it. He was like tugging on his shirt to hide
the situation.
Oh my God.
Talk about someone doing you dirty in your camp. I think someone was plotting against him, and I love it.
Oh my God. That's funny.
But now, so Jessica Biel was on the cover of In Style magazine, and there was like a very revealing article where she talks a lot about her marriage and their co-parenting and sort of how they function in their lives together. It sounds very normal. Sounds very much like, are you good for carpool. I'll be good for tennis. Let's go. You know, you take them to skiing. It's very much like schedules and coordination, which normal.
Because they live in Montana now.
Right.
Yeah. They moved out of LA.
Right. In that article kind of corroborates what we're hearing in the gossip mill, which is that they have zero intimacy in their marriage. Now, she doesn't say that. That's the rumor. What she says in the article, and I quote.
Hit me with a quote.
I'm going to hit you with it. She says, I would consider my husband one of my chosen sisters. He is also my best friend. That is not a sexy way to describe your husband.
Chosen sister?
Chosen sister.
No, you are a chosen sister.
I'm confused.
Randall, I will say, in a lot of ways, is my best friend.
Well, 100%. But was that the first way you would describe him?
No.
In a press moment,
and I would
people
never
are looking to have a window into your marriage, and you say he's my chosen sister.
No, calling Randall my chosen sister.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
That's giving. There is no intimacy left here.
That's giving separate bedrooms.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That is such a weird thing to say.
Right. I flagged that. I'm like, James would crawl out of his skin if I described him that way first. Like, yes, of course, he is my best friend, but he is very big on like, we're not friends. We are partners and lovers, and we are, you know, soulmates and all these things. And of course, he's my person. And I think my person is like a nice way to say it.
Yeah, Randall's my person.
Right. And maybe that's what she meant, but she certainly didn't say it that way. And it's giving me all kinds of
that is a
red flag.
Big red flag. Like that is.
It is.
Massive.
Yeah.
Chosen sister.
I know.
For a man who's already been emasculated in that harness.
Exactly.
And now you're labeling him chosen sister. Ooh, that's also giving a little bit of petty.
Well, I'm not mad at that.
And a little bit of spite.
I am not mad at that.
Okay.
So most recently on social media, we see Justin was performing at a concert in LA, and he wore a t-shirt of Jessica Biel, like with Jessica Biel on it from back in the day. And what happened was, behind the scenes, he posted a video where Jessica actually first she told him, I'm going to wear a t-shirt with your face on it from your Justified tour.
Great album, by the way.
Such a great album.
It really is.
And that will live on. My love for that album, but not my love for him. So Jessica decides, I'm going to wear a t-shirt with my husband's face on it from like a vintage vibe. And he knew that. What does he do? He goes and gets a shirt made with her on it, which normally would be cute. Okay. But in the context of him sucking all the air out of every room and always having to one-up her and take the attention away from her.
Like their wedding day and their wedding photos.
Never forget that wedding photo.
Never.
Where he was jumping. Like, he just will never let it, not even on her wedding day, be about her. So he revealed this video where he jokingly surprised her with him wearing a shirt with her face to match. And like, again, normally that would be so cute, but in this case, it's like, you just can't help yourself.
No, you can't.
He is like the Meghan Markle of one-upping his wife. Like, I don't know how that works, but it just does.
So annoying to be married to.
Literally the most annoying.
A sister wife with.
Yeah.
He'd be so annoying to have as a chosen sister.
We need Justin to sit down.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to refer to Randall as that secretly.
No.
Once, just to see how he responds.
Yeah, do it.
I will.
Please turn your camera on.
I will.
He's going to be so confused.
I'm going to do it.
My chosen sister.
He's my chosen
His face will be like, my what now?
I wish he listened to the podcast more often, but he doesn't. So he won't even know.
We can put it on socials and tag him.
Perfect. Call him out. Speaking of, we did not have time to get to them this week, but please keep sending us your go offs because it is so much fun, and we will get to them next week.
Yes, 100%. Send us your hot takes on any and all of these topics, especially if it's hating on Justin Timberlake. Here for it. And I also want to call out that the Summer House reunion is this week.
I can't wait. Now I'm so hooked on this show.
Oh my God. If you haven't caught up on our sit down interview with Carl Radke that we had earlier this year and earlier in the season, it is such a juicy listen. The Summer House reunion obviously airs on Hey You, and you can find that episode, our interview with Carl, anywhere you get your podcast. However you're listening right now, go ahead and go give that one a listen.
And full video version on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he does talk about the reunions.
He does.
And what it's like to walk into the reunions.
I find reunions fascinating.
Me too.
Because, as you know, I'm a very non-confrontational human. And I find it fascinating that they just walk into this room knowing they're going to have confrontation with everyone.
Oh, yeah. No
And
one's
then
safe.
Literally no one. And you have to hash it out. And he talks about how they handle that and how they prepare themselves and then how they move forward, which I found fascinating.
Yes, very much so. Also, I want to thank you for another piece of Hey You content. I'm now watching The Valley, thanks to you.
Right. I
have no
squealed when you
words
told me you were into it.
for what I'm seeing.
It is a very special place in the world.
Mouth agape at what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And I look forward to continuing on this journey.
Yes. So
yes, very much so.
Summer House and The Valley both on Hey You. We love our Hey You peeps.
We do.
And we love you.
We do. And if you love us, I would really love if you took the time to hit us with a comment or a review of the show, and a rating as well would be fantastic.
Yes,
So,
every rating, every comment, every review.
I love seeing the
helps
comments
us
on the.
continue to do what we love.
That's right. And
Which
we love
is
doing
to talk
this.
shit about people for an hour. So thank you for your service.
Yes.
We love you. Have a great week.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.